All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to September 26th. Can you believe that it's already September? That's crazy, right? You are watching Coffee is for Closers. This is a live interactive show. For those of you that like to interact, I am all about the interaction. So feel free to ask questions and say hello and put comments down below. I love questions, comments. I like to answer questions. But today we are talking about how to close the deals. Last week we talked a lot about the stuff that comes up prior to when to know when to ask. And it was really cool. I had this really interesting conversation today with somebody about this exact topic. So I am very happy to discuss this topic. It's, again, Coffee is for Closers, Facebook Live show. I am Michelle, your host, aka the Pitch Queen. And we talk everything sales related here. How to help your clients more, how to get your products in more places. You can make sure you have a beverage. I've got a lot of water today. I have some tea. So grab your smoothies, teas, margaritas, beer, whatever you like to stay hydrated with, grab it. And it's been really, really fun giving away these hats. So I have these really cute hats and they fit amazing. I've got a guy version too. And I went to the post office today and sent out the hats. And then I was chatting with Amy. You all know who Amy is. She helps me with all this. Amy's awesome. I just want to say a shout out on public, on camera, to you, Amy. How awesome you are. How much I appreciate you. And how cool this is. We've done 12 episodes. Actually, in 30 minutes, it'll be 12. That's like 3 months. Right? 3 times 4 weeks. That is 3 months of this. Before Amy, we didn't have anything. So thank you, Amy, for helping me with everything. It's been so fun. Are people watching? You guys there?
Garen says hi.
Garen? Hi, Garen.
No banana caramel.
Oh, caramel. Well, you have to come and make us a banana caramel smoothie. That is amazing. And Garen, also, we posted about your episode yesterday, so feel free to repost. I'll send you the photo and what to say if you want. But today we are talking about the signature recipe. So for those of you on Facebook, you can catch the slides. I will show you my screen right now. And we are discussing for you guys on LinkedIn and Instagram, the cup of wisdom, how to sweeten up your sales. If your goal is to increase your revenue and grow your business and stop being a nonprofit, then this is for you. Or if you're like, my sales are stuck and I don't know what to do, we're going to discuss that today. Don't procrastinate. So if you're not like Garen and you don't have a banana caramel smoothie from Herbalife, because that thing is the bomb. It's so delicious. Then you can stick to half a gallon of water like me. I know you have one of these too, Garen. Hopefully you're still there watching. Sweet reminders and energy for the soul. That is what we are discussing today. So, anyway, I was mailing out these hats at the post office for all of you. And I thought I would sweeten up the pot a little bit. And since this is Coffee is for Closers, you now get a hat and a $25 gift card to Starbucks. 2 things. However, you have to do 3 things. You need to like the post. You need to share it with your friends. So you all have to go over to Facebook, or if you're on LinkedIn, hit the share button. And you have to comment on what has this helped you with in your business or in your sales job. What have you learned from it? And if you do all of those things, so you have to like it, you have to put a comment about what you got out of this, and you have to hit the share button. Then you put in there that you want a hat and gift card, and I'll pick one winner because I'm picking one a week. And you will get one of these hats, and you will get a $25 gift card to Starbucks. So Amy will put the rules and regulations into the comments everywhere. And again, just put hat plus gift card, and then I'll choose one. So I know Liz Cortez, you won a hat last week. Greg Lira, you got one from the week prior. And I guess today we need to announce who the winner is from last week. Oh wait, was that Liz? I think that was you, Liz Cortez. So moving right along into what we are discussing today. So for those of you on Facebook, you can see it. Everybody else, closing the deal is not just selling. I love this quote, by the way. It is moving people from where they are to where they should be. So imagine yourself as like a coach and you're taking someone through a path. That's really what selling is about. And helping them make the right choices and take the right action towards their financial freedom, peace of mind, and legacy. This quote is from Farshad Asul. I'm not sure if I said his name right. He's an entrepreneur and leadership coach. And I really love this, and let me just tell you why. Because I am all about sharing ways to sell without really having to sell and without being sleazy. And when you help people figure out what they really want and where they really want to go, and you just guide them through that path, that's a form of selling. But you're really not like doing it high pressure. There's no pressure at all, actually. And in that form of serving people and selling, it's actually really good because the other person on the other end, the only pressure they have is the pressure they put on themselves. So it's really funny when people say, oh, this seems so high pressure. Well, actually, it has nothing to do about high pressure. They're putting this pressure on themselves because when people decide to make a decision and change from what they're currently doing today, it can feel a little bit heavy. And that's the pressure that they feel. But I love how Farshad said it. Closing the deal is not just selling. It's moving people from point A to where they should go, point B. Sometimes you help them on what the should be, right? Like they might not know. So, love that quote. So, how do you sweeten up your sales? Have you guys ever felt like you're barking up the wrong tree? You're on a sales call or you're calling a company or you're working with a client and they're not even the decision maker. That's what I mean by barking up the wrong tree. So you really need to identify who the decision maker is, and then from there, that's who you want to talk to get to the pain, or, ask the questions to get to the pain. I feel that a lot of people I talk to sometimes are talking to the wrong people. So step number 1 would be really figuring out who is the decision maker that you need to be talking to in your sales. So if you guys are selling to a company, make sure you're talking to a buyer. Buyers buy products. If you are like Garen and you sell caramel banana delicious shakes, then make sure you're talking to someone who has a credit card that might want to sign up with him to get more delicious shakes delivered to their house. So it really just depends on what you guys are selling, but ultimately, number 1 is get to the decision maker. And I think down the road, we'll talk about how to find who the decision maker is. So Amy, if you want to take a note. Also, how to get through the gatekeepers. I'm really good at that. I'll explain. So when I was at the vitamin shop, or when I was not there yet, I was working on it. The gatekeepers to the decision maker is usually an executive assistant. So have you ever had to deal with talking to an executive assistant to try to get, they're like, who is this? And where are you calling from? So I've got a lot of cool ways on how to get past the gatekeepers and get to the decision makers. So we'll discuss that in the future. That's not for today. But for today, how to sweeten up your sales, identify who the decision makers are, figure out what are their pain points, what are they struggling with, and remember to talk about that. A lot of times I talk to people and they don't even get to that part. It's like, hey, I've got this. It will really help you. Well, you have no idea what your client or your customer is having a challenge with. So one of my favorite questions to ask, I talked to a guy today actually. He's invested a ton in sales training. They've grown their sales like 200%. They're going to double their company revenue this year. But obviously he reached out for a reason. So I asked him, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're still having right now in your business? One was getting leads and one was even having a higher conversion rate. So even though some people are doing really well, They reach out to you for a reason. So it's your job to find out, why did they reach out to me? What can you help them with? What are some of their goals? What are some of their dreams? Like this guy, he takes one day off every few weeks. Okay. I mean, if that's important to him and he just rather work all the time, then that's what's important. Where I've helped other people, their goal is, how can I work 3 days a week and have 4 days off? Every single person is unique. They have unique goals. They have unique dreams. It's your job to figure out what that is. Even if you're selling in corporate, like if you were like me and going into Costco or Vitamin Shop, it doesn't matter. Even those people, your buyers, have goals and dreams. Like, get to know them on a personal level. Maybe, like a buyer, because you have a unique product, maybe they're going to carve out a niche in the retail store that they're in and be a superstar within the company. Maybe that's important to them. So you have to figure out what's important for that person. The next major thing is you have to be real. If you are anything of a fake, then this isn't for you. Entrepreneurship is probably not for you, and doing sales is also probably not. So you've got to be real. You have to be loving and passionate about what you're selling and how you're helping people. I know Garen loves the caramel banana shake, and he will explain to you 8 million different ways backwards. Number one, why it's so delicious and have you try it, and it is. But number two, all the other health benefits. It's a meal replacement. Like, he's so passionate about it, you don't even really need to know what he sells. Like, you just know. And if you want to learn more about that, you can listen to the episode that we did on my podcast, Success Unfiltered. It was the first episode, so 001 with Garen Jones. It was really good. But you have to be real, and you need to remember to talk about building rapport and building a deep relationship with people. For if you're on the phone with someone for an hour, between 0 and 10 minutes, like, don't even talk about what the purpose was of the call or thing you're doing. Today, I'll give you another example. I was talking to the dietitian of the Knicks, and for the first few minutes, we talked about how she didn't really sleep last night. I talked to her late at night last night, and how she's going to go and play volleyball tonight, and how she was on the court with the guys early this morning. Like, we didn't even really talk about what we needed to talk about. For about 5 minutes, we were talking about like more personal stuff, because I really do care. I want to know how the guys are playing on the court, and I can't believe she's going to stay up late and play volleyball tonight. Like, she keeps it busy. And you know how she only slept 3 hours the night before. You can then understand your client a lot better. If they're having a bad day, now I might know why, because she only slept 3 hours the night before. I'm just making that up. But just as an example, building rapport, it doesn't end. You have to keep it going. And making genuine connections. I don't know how people make fake connections in this world anymore, unless you're just behind a laptop and messaging and have fake pictures and sending fake messages. But if you want to really sweeten up your sales and grow your top line revenue, the more genuine you are and the more authentic you are and the more you are who you are and don't change it for anybody, your sales will go through the roof. I know there's a lot of people that think I'm professionally annoying, and I know that, but I've gotten to where I'm at because of that, and they appreciate it. So some of the areas that you think are flaws might actually not be flaws, or what people think on the other side as actually an asset. So I know that with Vitamin Shop. I always talk about them, but it's okay. So you guys met my big champion, Michael. He was here like a month ago from New Jersey, and he was a guest on my show, and he will tell you how professionally annoying I was. However, that's what sealed the deal, because they knew that Michelle would do anything to make sure that the meals and the food and everything got executed 1,000% on point and not late or anything. And it's true, I did, because he had no worries, because one of the things that might be a turnoff to somebody being professionally annoying in sales, come on, that's like what do they call that? I don't know what the word is, but it goes hand in hand, and it's very important. So if you need a refresher, there are 2 episodes that you guys can go back and watch. One is last week's episode number 10 of Coffee is for Closers. If you're on Instagram, you can just pop on over to Facebook and see the replays, or go on my website, thepitchqueen.com. And episode number 1 of Coffee is for Closers for building relationships and building rapport. All right, so just a quick reminder. Let me go. Can't see anybody. Oh, 2 people are watching. Hi, guys. Justin, whoop, whoop. Zara, hi, Zara. So good to see you. You're here every week. I really appreciate that. Okay, so Zara, Justin, Jeannie, whoever is watching, Garen, all of you guys, 3 things, then you get a hat. I'm going to choose one, okay? A hat and a $25 Starbucks card. So what are the rules, Amy? They have to like, heart, one or the other, comment below, like, what are some of the pain points that you're dealing with in your business? How did you hear about Coffee is for Closers, maybe? I would love to know. I mean, some of you I already know personally. Or like, what's one takeaway that you're getting from today? Like, what's one thing that you can actually take away and implement now and take action? I'm all about taking action. If you don't take action and you just come hang out with me every week, then it's not doing your business any good. And then lastly, share. So if you're on Instagram, you have to go over to Facebook and hit the share button. You can find this at The Pitch Queen, my business page, or whatever you call it, public figure. The Pitch Queen on Facebook, and hit share on this episode, because the whole point is to share this content and information with more people. So I'm just giving you really cool stuff so you can help share it. All right. So Justin totally stumbled on the show. No, you didn't. Nice try. All right, so we're going to head back over to the slides. On Instagram, we are talking about still sweetening up your sales and keeping it so you can grow your top line revenue. Unless all of you are discussing nonprofit businesses or selling for free, that's a different show. This one is how can you help more people make a bigger difference in the world, and how can it help you maybe save more time, make more money, and work a little bit less. That's what this is about. So this I really like. I actually talked about it this weekend. I went to a conference, and it was a lot of fun. Some of you I saw at this conference. So let me go to the next slide. Create a sense of urgency. For all of you guys that end up having a lot of people in a follow-up status, has that ever happened? Where someone's like, oh yeah, well, thanks for the information. I'll be back in touch. Or, you know what? We need to review this with our team. Your product looks great, but we aren't buying any products right now, so we'll let you know in a month or 2. Now, you have to have a good follow-up system in place. I don't know which kind of CRM you're using. Right now, I use ActiveCampaign. I know my other friend, we use Infusionsoft. There's a lot of tools on the market, so feel free to check them out. But you need to have something really, really good in place for your follow-up. However, if you're seeing that most people are not making a decision right now, then it's time to create some sort of sense of urgency. And it really kind of depends on what you're selling. So I'll give you an example. I was trying to sell my last company. You guys know I closed my company, and these guys were just like spinning their wheels or taking so long to make a decision. And I created a sense of urgency. I said, if you guys don't let me know by next week, then the offer's off the table. The deal's off the table. And then I thought about it some more, and I was like, you know what? These guys have been thinking about it for 3 or 4 months now. That's a really long time. And I do believe that someone has made a decision within about a day or 2 on if they want to work with you, buy your products, anything like that. I do believe that someone makes a decision either right away or within 24 to 48 hours. So I thought about that. And last week I sent them an email saying, you know what? I've thought about it long and hard. I just don't think this is going to be a good fit. Because if it took them 3 or 4 months to realize that they couldn't even give me a decision, or it was one excuse after the next, then it's really not important to them. And that's where I'm going with this. Creating a sense of urgency makes it, on the other person's side, is this important or is this not important? And you, as the entrepreneur or the salesperson, get to determine how important that client or that sale is to you. You get to set the boundaries. You get to set the standards. So with those guys, I sent them an email. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's just not a good fit. I felt like I released 100 pounds of weights off my back because I'd just been waiting for so long. I didn't create a sense of urgency for that. And I should have. I should have done it way earlier. But I'm not perfect. And none of us are perfect. And you always live and learn and tweak as you go. So the point is create a sense of urgency. If you've got a program you're starting or launching, give it a deadline and stick to the deadline. Now, if you create sense of urgency, you cannot be leery of anything. It's got to be like, hey, Zara, if you're working with a new client and they say they want a tax plan next week, then you need to make sure you get payment by Friday this week so you can start with them on Monday next week. You've got to create the sense of urgency. And what the benefit is for all of you CPAs out there, for any of you listening, is there's deadlines. So you guys have a natural sense of urgency that you can build in for your clients. So you get better commitments from them. Justin, your program, I would say for you, creating a sense of urgency. We talked about this. We talked about this last week. Your people have no sense of urgency to go to their getaway with their significant other in Breckenridge for a week. So your sense of urgency is, hey, you need to do this now. I'll incentivize you for doing it now. Maybe you give them an extra 3 coaching sessions with you if they sign up by October 1st. Anything after that, they get full price. So each of you can come up with something creative for a sense of urgency, depending on who your client is and what your products are. But I wanted just to give you a little glimpse on it. And after doing this for so long, even with my last company, there was no sense of urgency. So you sometimes need to get creative, but if you add it onto there, you're going to get a lot of different results. Promise. So attach a deadline and give an incentive to commit, or give them a bonus to commit. For Justin, you guys, I totally think some one-on-one extra coaching with your week in Breckenridge getaway sounds like a great option for an incentive to get someone to commit now. Otherwise, people will just keep waiting. I mean, think about it. If you guys, here's an example. I like BMWs, right? Well, soon to be Tesla. If Tesla came out and said, hey, if you get this car in the next 3 months, we're going to give you a $10,000 credit. Guess who's signing up and buying a Tesla right now? I will figure out a way, because there is more of a sense of urgency. There's an incentive, a $10,000 credit. They did that right when the car came out, and it was genius. You got a free charging station. You got to go in the HOV lanes for free. I'm all about all those little perks. So as buyers, in that case, I am the customer, that's a great incentive to commit to buy my Tesla, right? Right now, they don't have any really good incentives, so I'll just keep waiting until I find a good deal. I like this next one too, know your competition. I can't stress this enough. I'm going to bring up the Vitamin Shop again. So at the Vitamin Shop, they were talking to me and a company called MyFit Foods, for all of you that know my space. MyFit Foods also closed their doors. They had 50 stores throughout Chicago, Texas, and California and Arizona, and ended up closing March of this year too. But I knew them in and out. I had met Mario, the founder. I knew his partner at the time, and I knew that, they weren't involved in the company when Vitamin Shop was talking to me and them, but I knew them. I knew what we were better at. I knew what our weaknesses were against them, and I knew how we compared in similarities. You guys all need to know your competition like the back of your hand. Whatever you can do, what prices are they offering? What services do they have? If you have a similar product, how are you better? How are you not as good? How are you in comparison to them? Like, I would almost create a comparison chart. I actually have that. Let me show you guys on Facebook. I did this for our Fitzy bars, so I'll actually show it to you right now because it's really cool. I just thought of it. So let me get into the Fitzy Foods folder and show you this comparison chart I did for the Fitzy bars. So our Fitzy bars is what we brought into Costco, and I would say our main competition was the Perfect Bar. So I did a sheet right here, so check it out, you can feel free to copy it, on how do we match up. So the Fitzy bar, I looked at, well, this was for Costco, so the price was obvious. But we looked at weight, calories, fats, sugars, proteins, carbs, was it gluten-free, meal replacement, outstanding taste. So probably like Garen, he knows all of the other meal replacement shakes on the market and knows them in and out and can compare them. Like memorized. You guys need to memorize your competition. So here's an example of what I did to know my competition. So I did this for myself and MyFit Foods, and when I asked for the sale with the Vitamin Shop, basically like, who are you going to choose? You know, they chose me, and I assumed the sale. I made sure, because I was that confident that I knew that we were going to be able to maneuver a lot quicker through the waters than MyFit Foods. They were a much bigger company at the time. We were a lot smaller. And when you're a lot smaller, you have more flexibility. And I knew that for the Vitamin Shop, flexibility was an important characteristic. So that's how we were able to work with them. So know your competition. How do you keep up and compare with them? Okay, my next favorite topic. You guys have to ask for the sales, okay? If you do not ask people to work with them, why would they offer it up? It just doesn't make sense. So if they ask you if you have any questions for them, and if you're doing it on the phone or in person, you know, ask for a credit card, or if in Vitamin Shop, I asked for the purchase order. So what's the first order going to be? Are we doing 900 meals or 1,000 meals? For Costco, it was like, are we doing, I think we started with 10,000 cases or boxes. So are we doing 5,000 boxes or 10,000 boxes? Like, make up some numbers that you can deliver on and ask for the sale. If you're doing stuff on the phone, Justin, this is for you. Do you have any questions about joining my program? They're like, no, it sounds great. Okay, do you want to use a Visa, a MasterCard, or American Express? We take all three. Which one works best for you? Like, you guys, all you have to do is ask. And when you start asking, everything starts to change. So, and ask, does this seem to be the kind of solution you're looking for? You can actually ask this before the payment. I did this at the Vitamin Shop. I was like, do you feel that your customers are really going to benefit from fresh food? For the CEO at the time, he was like really wanting to differentiate himself from all the competition like GNC. And I said, you know, does Fitzy Foods seem to be the solution that you're looking for to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and really change people's lives through food first, supplements second? And what was the answer? Yes, it was. That's how we were able to do the test. So I really like this question. It's a really good one to ask, just to make sure like you and your customer, client, buyer, whatever you want to call them, are on the same page. Zara, this will be good for you. Does this seem to be the kind of tax plan that you're looking for to help you save $50,000 all year round? Okay, if you have a client that tells you no, let me know. But that's how I would ask all of your clients, because you're doing high-level tax planning where they're saving a ton of money. And you need to make sure that you ask for the sale because your client is relying on you to do that for them. Like when I go and work, you know, with a CPA, I'm like, you tell me what I need to do. I don't know. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. I don't know what to do, but I am all about saving a lot of money. So Zara, does this seem to be the kind of solution that you're looking for to help you save $50,000 in your business every year? I would say yes. How do we start this process? And then you would say, well, the plan's $10,000, so we'll take the payment now and we'll meet next week and we'll start implementing the plan. Great. No problem. If I cannot pay Uncle Sam, then I am all about it. So hopefully that helps you guys. And ask what they like about your offer and how will it help them. That's another good one. So, what did you like about what I shared with you is a great question to ask. How do you feel it will help you? Zara, if you ask me, how do you feel it would help you to save $50,000 a year? I would say, well, it looks like I can get a different car, or upgrade my equipment, a whole slew of things. But at least you get to learn what's important to your client by asking that question. Make sense? So I have an exercise for you to do as well. On YouTube, I started a YouTube channel. Guess what it's called? The Pitch Queen. So you guys can go check it out. And I'm doing videos on 100 different ways to get practice asking for things. And some of them are really funny, and we'll be doing more of them. So trust me, they're really funny. But it was so cool because at this conference I was at this weekend, one of the women had a question, and I said, it sounds like you need to get practice asking for things. And today she posted that she was on the airplane, okay? You guys know when the cart goes down, they give you a little plastic cup, like half the size of this one, and they fill it to the top with ice, and then they pour your drink on top, and it's about 2 sips. You all know what I'm talking about? So she said she was spying the Coke Zero can, and she asked the flight attendant, hey, can I have the can of Coke Zero? The flight attendant said, yes, here you go. This is someone who would have never asked for anything. But if you start doing that at least 100 times, your sales are going to go from here to here just because you're going to start programming things in your brain and start asking for things. So I challenge you to just start asking for one thing a day that you would never ask for. And Amy has been with me at some of these video episodes, and she is like dying laughing and probably like I'm crazy. I totally know I am a little crazy. But I've asked for so many things, and I think that's why when it comes to sales and asking for the sale, I'm very comfortable, I'm very confident. So what's the best way to get comfortable and confident? Put into practice. So ask for a sample at the next Starbucks you go to. And if you want a hat and a Starbucks gift card, $25, it will come in the mail. Like Liz and Greg and everyone else got your hats. You have to do 3 things though. You have to like the episode. You have to share it on Facebook. Hit share because that's how this stuff grows. And then also you need to comment below like, what's the one biggest takeaway you learned today or last week or in past episodes? What are some of the pain points that you're dealing with in your business that maybe we can discuss in future episodes? So I like interaction, so I will incentivize for interaction. That's what we're doing. All right, I got a few sweet reminders for those of you on Instagram. These are very important. Facebook, you've got the slides. Build rapport and build relationships. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to talk about that every single time we do one of these, okay? It's super important. It's one of the things that I would consider is a secret to success. It's a big secret, isn't it? Believe in yourself. I actually wrote a blog post on believing in yourself. I talked about it on this interview I did this morning. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then who the heck is going to believe in you? That's where it starts. So, Justin, if you and your wife are a coach and you guys don't believe in yourself and you believe you can't sell your own service and coaching products, then how the heck is anyone going to believe that you can help fix their marriage problems? You know, Zara, if you don't believe in yourself that you can do amazing tax plans and save your clients an average of $25,000 to $100,000 in taxes in a year, how am I going to believe you if you don't believe in yourself? So it all starts with ourselves first. I think that's a really good blog post, so maybe we'll post that today, Amy, yeah? The believe in yourself. So if you put in your email, I've got a little guide that will help you out. We'll put that in the notes. Know your value and know your worth. Do not sell yourself short. Unless you guys are on the nonprofit side and you do things for free, this is to help you grow your sales and grow your revenue. So know your value, know your worth. Remember, it's not always the right time for your customers, your clients, so have a good follow-up system in place. We talked about that, in a podcast. It's coming up with Percy Knox about the 4 quadrants that people buy. We also discussed that 2 or 3 weeks ago here. That's a good one to go rewatch. Where is your client in the buying process? Are they in pain? Are they in gain? Are they in status quo? Remember to follow up. Following up is very, very important. And watch the rest of my other episodes for many more tips and secrets. Oh, we have a spelling error. I'm so sorry. Secrets I share. I am going a little delusional. I've been talking a lot, but I hope you guys have some questions today. Oh my gosh. So those are my sweet reminders to you. I will leave it with one final tip for you on Instagram. I'm going to read it out loud. But I really love this. It's from Brian Tracy. You all know who he is? If not, check out his books. Develop an attitude of gratitude. Say thank you to everyone you meet for everything they do for you. When you come from a place of gratitude and thanking people and being appreciative, everything comes back to you like 2 times more. So if you do that 100 times, I bet 200 awesome things are going to come your way. So I will leave it at that with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to go into some questions and answers if there are any. There are not any. But again, if you want a hat and you want a $25 Starbucks gift card, you can do these 3 things that not only helps you, but it helps the show. Like the show, share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You guys need to go over to Facebook and hit share. We'll put the link so you can actually do it. We make it very easy to do these 3 steps. But comment below, like, what is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten so far? What are you going to put into action today? I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me on Coffee is for Closers. It's always a pleasure, and I love all the feedback and really appreciate each and every one of you. Have an awesome day. Ask for the close.